Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. The next video in the series about this, my VFC SMP Strike Industries P365, like the kind of the kit that they have for it. Very compact little pistol. I actually just finished work, or not finished, but I've just come back from doing something for work. Had the suit on, I was about to change, and I was like, you know what, let's keep it on because this is, for me, what I kind of like the idea of being like a kind of bodyguard, secret agent style pistol. The nice thing with this is it's super thin, like the P365 is like a compact kind of carry. And what I would say is like putting this in here, it's not too bad. Like it is definitely not, you're going to know it's there, but it's definitely not as bad as like my Glock 26 is smaller, maybe in terms of dimensions, or similar, maybe slightly smaller, but it is wider. And this thing being so narrow, it really is kind of good as a compact carry. This is airsoft, this isn't real. If you're watching YouTube, love to at the moment tell me that my videos can't be monetized or are going to be restricted because apparently I presume they think they're real videos of kind of real firearms. This is airsoft. However, today I am going to be putting a sight on it. Now, the cool thing with this Strike Industries is it has this little kind of adapter plate on here for a kind of micro red dot. And I was thinking, what do I want to put on here? I think it works like this, but I really kind of wanted to check out the look of putting a kind of like micro red dot on it. Because the base of this is a SIG, I kind of decided to go with this. Well, for one reason, I decided to kind of keep in the SIG family because I knew that it was going to fit on there. SIG matching SIG's kind of quite cool. But the other thing is the cost of this. This is the Sauer Romeo 0. It's a 1:24mm SpectraCoat lens, apparently. It's HD lens, ultra compact micro reflex sight. So I think the name of it is the Zero Reflex sight. And this is $110, normally about $130. I'll have a link to it down below in the description. But apparently it's going to fit straight on here. I wanted to keep this small and compact and light. So I think that this sight is going to be quite small. So in this video, I'm going to install it and we're going to kind of have a look at what it looks like. Currently, this is my SMP. And that's the kind of before shot. We'll kind of show you the after shot once I've installed it. I have also removed the orange tip from this. It actually wasn't too tough to get off. A lot of these VFC made pistols can be very, very difficult to get the orange tip off here. I managed to get it off. One thing I would say is when I took this apart, removed the slide and kind of used this takedown lever here, getting it back together was a nightmare. So I'm probably not going to do that today because I just don't want to spend another 20 minutes putting it back together. I think it was just getting the right angle on this as I kind of like reset the slide and then kind of like screwing it down back into place to hold the slide in place. It is fine now, and I've been playing around with this pistol quite a bit, and I like the sound of it. Like when it's kind of like the Mark 17, the P320, in terms of like the sound, that like metal kind of clank of the slide. But I quite like it so far. I have, since buying it, watched a few reviews where people are like, it's not that great. So I'm going to kind of figure it out and see if that's the same for me and if that's how I feel about it. But what I'm going to do in this video is install this sight. So I'm going to unbox it. We'll kind of have a look. Should I give you the desk view? Do you want that? That might be quite good, mightn't it? So you can actually kind of see. In fact, you know what we should do? Let's do the desk view plus me right in the corner there. How's that? Is that good? Maybe bring it slightly closer in. Bit closer. Look at this. You can see me on the small bit. I feel like that makes me feel a bit sick doing that one. Maybe there. Is that good? No. I'm going to reduce this. I probably should have set this up beforehand, guys, so apologies for that. I'm going to make this closer so you guys can kind of see what this looks like up close and personal. There we go. Let's go with that. Let me know if you guys think that's a bad one. Okay, so this is the box, kind of typical SIG box. You know, wasn't expecting much from that. It's a $100 pistol reflex sight. Normally when I'm going for sights, I much prefer having something a lot bigger window. However, with this, it is a bit different because it is such a small, compact pistol that I was like, you know what, I'm not going to go with the bigger window. I'm going to go with something a bit smaller. So I'm thinking, and I haven't seen this in real life yet, that is a pretty small sight. Let me go here. That is a pretty small, compact. The window is pretty big. It weighs nothing. What I have just noticed, which I quite like, and I think I saw that when I got it, is like the stippling on the mag is like the same. And that's pretty cool that it kind of keeps in. It's a little bit different maybe to what's on the grip, but the actual side of the sight stippling and this stippling is kind of the same. Okay, so what we'll do is we will take this warning sticker off. I'll be interested to see how this... Where's the on and off button? Does it even have an on and off button? Or it just basically is a shake awake and it just has a very long battery life. Okay, so they've given me like a little pack of goodies here. Looks like some different screws, which I think we may need. We'll see. But the big thing is going to be this, an Energizer battery. I'm going to put that in here. I presume it doesn't have a base plate, and we're just going to screw it directly down on. And I think that is the case. It also comes with this, which is like a little kind of protective cover. I think that gives it a different mounting base. So we'll see if we need that, but ideally I think I want to keep that off. This literally weighs nothing, this thing. As I said, there'll be a link to it down below in the description. I may have to take this slide off, I've just realized. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to need quickly to get my tools out. And we'll do a little star. It's got one of these kind of like star keys. I don't know what you call that. It's like a Torx wrench, but it almost looks like it's got more. A little small. Slightly bigger one works. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So let's take this plate off. I'm hoping I don't have to take the slide off and then separately do it. What I am going to lose, I've just realized on here, is I'm going to lose the iron sight on the back. And it is a very long plate, like the window of the plate that's on here. Okay, those are tiny little screws. So that thing just pops off. So that's there. What it is going to mean is that probably when this is sitting on here, that looks like it's going to fit fairly well. I mean, it's definitely going to make the usability of it better. And what I'll do is I'll have some shorts coming up after this, but it just kind of demonstrating what it looks like when I'm firing it on my smart target and how accurate I can get it. But let's see, so if I put this guy on here, so I could put that on there, but it just adds a lot of like width. And I think I'd rather not if possible. It's obviously going to protect it better. But when it's $100 sight, like $100 is not a small amount of money, but it is kind of like a, it's not like dropping like an EOTech or something, which is just unbelievably expensive. So maybe I'll kind of like take the risk of it and not put a protector on, but obviously that's person to person. It's very cool packaging. Make it impossible to get to the actual battery. How do I get into this? Okay, let's get rid of this stuff. So this just literally like vacuum sealed closed. Do I have to cut this? I may have to get my knife and cut it. Where is my knife? Okay. Just use one of these. So we do a pokey with this thing. Probably end up scratching the battery and breaking it and then having to abandon the video. Okay, well that works. Okay, so This is going to go in here like this, I believe. I like that they actually supply the battery. And then that's going to sit on there like that. And it looks like that has already turned it on. So you can see there, that red light is on there. However, I can't, oh, hold on. It's connecting and disconnecting. Okay, let me screw it down and then we'll get this. Oh, I think there's a button right here. If you look here, there's a button right in there, which is kind of like good, but it's also because it's hidden away, but it's also bad because you're actually going to just like smudge the lens when you do that, which I'm not that big a fan of. But let's see what screws we're going to have to use, because those are definitely not going to go in there. I mean, they will fit, but they're not going to be long enough. So hopefully we have screws in here that are going to allow us to put this onto the slide. And already I'm like, okay, this looks too long. This obviously is a real steel sight, so it's meant for real steel firearms. It's not meant for... Okay, so that's where that is there. I'm hoping that that's not too long to go on there, but we will see. Okay, so let me get the right attachment for this. I'm going to get a... I'll put these guys away. Away. It looks like we're going to need a hex and probably a fairly small one. That'll work. We'll put this guy in this little battery pod space. We'll take this over here. And yeah, I am slightly worried that these are too big, because they are too big. And the other screws that we have also look very long. They look thinner, but they look long. So this is, they don't sit in that space. I'm really confused by this. Unless we just keep them higher up. Are those going to fit? Those actually fit in the... Just try and tighten these down and see what that looks like. I mean, that's the thing. Look, they'll like keep in, but they're sticking up above where it is. So I almost want screws like that, which are less tall. And I don't know why they would supply screws that don't. Maybe they will sit in. I just need to tighten them up. Okay, so let's put the battery on and then we'll try this. Okay, so I'm going to put the battery in there. Going to align this with the screw sockets, and then we're going to put one of these in here, another one in here. We'll tighten this up. We'll tighten this up. Okay, it is going in actually. So maybe I was just wrong and it just kind of doesn't push down as hard. I'm worried that if this is airsoft, which it is obviously, that it's not going to be as... So here you can see the battery that is right in that spot. Now the red dot's working. You can see it there, and it's actually super bright. So if I push that button, if I hold the button, okay, if I hold the button, it turns it off. And if I push the button once, no. It's kind of like one of those weird ones where if you've got big fingers, okay, and then if you hold it, it turns it on. I might just try and tighten this down a little bit because that is going to really annoy me, the battery kind of showing there. That's helping actually. So I was thinking otherwise I'm going to have to take the plate and then put that on. Okay. Issue now is it's not going to cock. That's gone too far in and it's affecting the actual slide mechanism. So on real steel, I'm sure this will be fine. But on this one, it's not. See, that there's fine. And it's working. But it means that I may have to put this plate thing on the outside, and I really don't want to do it. Maybe I could find some slightly smaller screws and just try and work that out and see. I just tighten it a little bit up. There's resistance there. So it's these screws are too long. So I'm going to pause the video, guys, and I will go and see if I can find some of these with slightly less kind of length to them in my kit, and I'll be back in one sec. Okay, so I've got a ton of screws here. Let's just put you on normal. Actually, hold on, let's put you on regular camera. And I'm going to look through these screws quickly because I just need to try and match this. And then, so I think it's going to be maybe like an M2. I think M3 might be too long for it. No, it's an M3. Now this one's got a hard mount to it. Let's see if that's gonna. The problem with this is it's got one of those kind of I can't remember. I'm so bad at remembering the names of some of these actual screw heads. Let's put this one back for a second because these all have those ends to them. These ones have got the angled ends. So if I go M3, these are all M2s or M5s, it looks like. So M2s, those look like they could work. Let's try this one. That fits that screw. I think this one could be perfect. Okay, so that fits well. I'll probably have to Loctite this, as you should do anyway. Just because obviously it's a gas blowback. You're going to be getting that that kick on the actual, it's going to work the screw loose. Good thing, I would always say, and this is what I've been finding more and more, is just get a few of these different sets of screws from Amazon. They're really cheap for what they are. Obviously, I don't buy cheap crap ones, but for what they are, they're really cheap, and they actually, the amount of times you're going to need one. So that is looking great. I'll show you now the view. So that is now what it looks like. There's no gap between. Here's the. There we go. Yeah, it's so hard to gauge this bit. Yeah, okay. There's the red dot. You can see it there. And actually, I would say it's not, the side picture's not too bad. I'm quite happy with that. Let's go back. But this is now what this thing is looking like in comparison. which I think it kind of just, it doesn't add much like size to it. I need to get a good holster for this. This is what I'm looking like for. If you know of a good like Kydex holster that I can find for this, let me know. But I think it's really good how like the actual finish on the side of the sight and then on the actual bottom of the magazine and kind of the grip all kind of match up, and almost like this little thumb bit here, this thumb rest. I think that's kind of awesome. I mean, it's going to take practice just to kind of like get the feeling of it faster, but it's very clear. It's obviously made by SIG. It's made for real steel firearms. I'm going to go and get the one thing actually is it is kind of slightly offset in the wrong direction. It feels like it's almost feels like it's slightly tilted. Oh, there we go. That's better. My only other concern is just that like these aren't taking a huge amount of like twists. Oh, and now this one isn't biting. So maybe let's try and do something slightly longer than this one. That is that's too long. That's too thick. That's too long again, I think. Maybe that'll be better. Let's try this one. Because that wasn't biting at the end there. Let's try this and just see if this will fit better. Kind of sounds like that is going to affect the function. No, that works. So let's go with 2 of those. All right, well, I've changed. Good thing. This is what we do in these videos, is I'll kind of do a test and a trial and just work out what's working and what's not. Did I just take this one? No, I put that one in. This is the one that's the smaller one. So you can see here, this is the difference in size between these two. Like it's not a huge amount, but I was thinking it might be slightly too long. You can see there where this one started to almost like strip that top bit there. So it's only biting in just, whereas this guy feels like is in far enough, but not too far where it's going to impede on the actual action of the slide. Okay, so again, I'll get some thread lock on this after the video. But that works well. Red dot's working well. That's what it's looking like. So yeah, guys, so I'll do some like reviews and some tests on this, but this from SIG, if you're looking for just like a little compact like micro red dot and you don't want to spend a ton of money, but you want something that's real and not a repro, this is $100. And especially I think if you're putting it on like a little compact SIG pistol, for me, it's exactly what I thought it would be. It's doing what I need it to do. Obviously, when I get a holster for this, I need to make sure that it's optic ready, because that does sit quite far forward. But actually, I'm quite excited to test this on the target now, because I do like iron sights, or I don't mind iron sights, but they definitely are not as like now I'm kind of got used to the red dots a bit. It's hard to go back, is what I'm going to say. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Big love to everyone out there. I will see you very soon on the next video. Oh, hold on. Should I do it? Yeah. I'm going to introduce you to Charlie. Charlie is right here, okay? Saved it for the end. He's just sleeping here. So I'm going to go get him and I'm going to show you guys. This is my new puppy. He is not replacing George, but he is very, very cute. I'll give you the warning. Come on, buddy. Okay, so this is Charlie. He is only 9 weeks old. I think he's pretty cute. I don't know if you guys think he's cute, but I think he's a pretty cute puppy. He's very chilled, very relaxed, likes to sit around, like goes to sleep on me like this. So he's a big addition to my family. I don't know if we should have him on videos, if we should make him part of the channel. Everyone loved to see George in the videos, and I had a lot of complaints when George wasn't in the videos. So if you guys would like to see more of him, or if you'd like me to do a proper intro video with him, let me know. All right, guys, have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.